All right, let's bring in Justin Medeiros. Justin, how you doing today, man?
Dude, I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. I'm going to get this question out of the way, and then we'll focus on the CrossFit stuff. But why the mullet?
Why the mullet? I mean, it's just kind of like it just kind of happened. One of my friends said I should do it. I had like a buzz cut because I wrestled, and then I kind of grew out my hair. It was super long. My friend's like, dude, just cut it into a mullet. And I was like, oh, well, hair grows back. So I cut it, and just kind of, long story short, my coach used to have a mullet. So he told me to keep it. His wife loved it. And then, yeah, it's just kind of been catching on ever since. So,
you know, I got to hand it to you. It is beautiful. It's feathered and lethal. Yes. You got a mean set of curtains on you. And I will say, I did notice that, did Adam regrow out his mullet for stage one? Because I thought I saw, you know, Camaro crash helmet hiding underneath that hat of his.
Oh yeah, no, we started working together kind of last April. Mm-hmm. So kind of been like a year and a half now. And he said if I qualified for the games the next year, he'd grow out his hair for the games. And I qualified really early on, so he's had a long time to grow that thing out. So it's looking real good now.
Let's go back to when you qualified way back. I mean, almost a year ago.
Yeah.
At that point, once you knew that you were going to go compete in the CrossFit Games, what were your expectations for the games that were supposedly going to be held in Wisconsin?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was very surprised to qualify so early on, but I did it, and I was super pumped. But I've always wanted to go to the games. I've been kind of like a goal I've had for the past 3 or 4 years now, and I was always like really wanted to go to the games so I can get and see like all those like crazy events that they do that you just can't do every day in your box, like the chaos event they did. Like you get to play with like the pig, the snail, like the plow. Mm-hmm. And like the obstacle courses, swimming, just all that awesome stuff. And that's kind of what I had envisioned in my mind. And going forward, that's just not the way the cards played out, but had to make the best of the situation. And it worked out good for me. So I can't complain too much.
Yeah, I want to read off a couple stats to you real quick because I'm not sure if you're fully aware, but I've got a theory that I'll say to you afterwards. So last year, you were in the teenage division. You finished 19th worldwide in the Open. That was the last year that they only took 10 athletes to the games, and they didn't have the teenagers in the age group online qualifier. Next year, you go to regionals, finish 15th, and as your first year in the adult division. Next year, you finish 14th at regionals, but they combined the regionals together. If they had kept the California regional as it would have, you would have gone in 5th and qualified for the games that year. Following year 2019, you miss out just by a spot at Granite Games, and then you finally come and qualify at the Filthy 150. To me, sometimes no system's perfect, you know, and there's sometimes athletes kind of slip through the cracks, or maybe things just don't go their way. And I feel like you kind of fit in there. You're an athlete that is more than capable on multiple occasions, but things just maybe didn't quite line up. With that kind of in mind, what does it mean to you to be standing here finally, not just going to the games, but Rookie of the Year, top 5, going to the original home in Aromas, you know, like you said, just down the road from where your family grew up?
Yeah, man. I mean, like you said, I feel like I've had, I wouldn't call them shortcomings, but a lot of things happened that kind of prolonged my my game's birth. But every time one of those things happened, I was like, all right, like everything happens for a reason. Like it means I got to work harder. And when I do make it, it's just going to be that much better. And even though I feel like I'm ready now, like whenever I do make it, like the following year, the year after, like I'm going to be that much more prepared. And I always told myself, like, if I ever made it to the games, like I want to make sure like people knew that I was at the games. I don't want to be that guy. I mean, that's this kind of falling at the back of the pack. Like I wanted to go there and compete and show that I can contend with all those athletes. And I've always thought about that. And then like every day in my training, that's what I focus on. But definitely to qualify this year, I mean, it was definitely something that I didn't expect, and let alone get top 5. But I do think that I definitely have put in the work, and I've earned my spot.
Speaking of putting in the work, last year after the Granite Games, we've talked about, you know, what happened with the sandbags and how, you know, that event basically kept you out. Then you made the decision to basically attack that weakness. And a lot of people may have tried to hide a little bit from that and not wanted to deal with the fact that, you know, I got to face something that I'm not very good at. Where does that drive come from?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it comes just from I have a strong wrestling background, and it's a very like individualized sport. Sorry, getting tongue twisted, but it's really kind of like helped me like to like where I am today, and then when you go out on a wrestling ring, like it's either you win or you lose, and if you win, it's because of that hard work you put in. So like going into CrossFit, like I found a weakness, and it's like, well, if I do better at this, then I'm going to be that much more fitter, and just kind of having that kind of line in the sand where like I need to get better at this, and definitely seeing that payoff at Filthy 150, and that's kind of the way me and Adam, my coach Adam Knifer, train, is we get pumped up when we find a weakness. That means we just got to get that much more fitter. So and that's kind of the way we attack programming. I just love it because like you really get to see like progress in that like in those domains. So it's yeah, I love it.
And give yourself some credit. You just don't have a strong wrestling background. You qualified for California State, the state tournament. If people that aren't in California, they don't realize how hard that is, because the Central Valley of California has some absolute animals. You have some buddies, and I wrestled a little bit growing up too. So pat yourself on the back a little bit. That's pretty legit. And I kind of want to touch a little bit on, you mentioned Adam. You've been working with him for about, year and a half, 18 months. What has been his kind of influence on your game, at least from a coaching perspective, and kind of the energy he brings?
Yeah, he's had such a big impact. I mean, since we started working together, I feel like I've made such like big leaps and bounds. And I just, the reason why I kind of sought out was a new coach is like, I feel like I put a lot of time and effort into the sport, and I wanted a coach that had that same passion and drive for it, as I do. So, when we work together, you can just tell that he loves the sport, and he's doing it because like we have like a really good connection. He's like a brother, like a dad, however you want to call it to me. So we're family. So to have that kind of like passion and drive and just want each other to like get better has been like so good. And when we started working together, I mean, that's what we did. We kind of sat down, looked at old open performances, and we're like, well, that's a weakness, that's a weakness, that's a weakness. And I'm like, no, I'm good at that stuff. Like I'm good at sandbags. Like I thought I was a good sandbagger, but obviously I needed some work on that. But a lot of things that just we identified, and I think just his training style is just don't make excuses, and put in the work, and it'll pay off in the long run. So it's been a really awesome 18 months.
And I want a quick follow up, because I think the story is awesome. What had to happen in order for you to get him as a coach was kind of an unusual thing that he had a little bit of a requirement for you to do. You mind kind of enlightening the people that may not know? And that I just heard about this a couple of days ago. So
yeah, so I was in search for a coach. I kept reaching out to some people, and just kind of like a lot of people were just like, oh yeah, dude, sign up, like pay the X amount and we can get started. And I reached out to Adam just through a friend of a friend, and he was like, yeah, man, can you write me like a paper of your values and why you do CrossFit? And I was kind of taken back like by it at first, and but I was like, I mean, it's worth a shot. Like I really want to get to that next level. So I wrote out a letter. I had like my teachers proofread it, my family proofread it, like make sure it's good, and I sent it over to him. And on his side of the story, he was kind of hesitant to start working with an athlete because he's never done like that personalized programming. So he thought that a 20-year-old college student wasn't going to respond once he asked to write a paper. But I definitely proved him wrong there. And the kind of the rest is history. It ended up being a really awesome working together.
You're still relatively new and still very young for someone in this sport. But how have you changed since you started CrossFit as an athlete to where you are now?
I definitely think I still feel like I have so much more room to grow. And I definitely think I have a long way to go. But I honestly feel like a lot hasn't changed. I feel like I've always been like I want to put in the work, and I don't want like necessarily easy road. I'm gonna take like whatever's like dealt, like whatever my hand is, and give it my best shot. But just progressing throughout like my CrossFit career, working with Adam and getting up here, and I'm in Washington now, and getting surrounded by like the CrossFit Fort Vancouver like community is just, I think it's changed me in a lot better ways. Just their motto is just like happy, hungry, and awesome, and it's definitely awesome to be here.
Where do you think that work ethic comes from?
Man, I have a really like supportive family, and they're always behind me 100%. When I grew up playing soccer and then wrestling and then football, and then once I didn't want to wrestle in college, they were full support behind me, like to like follow my CrossFit career, and definitely having that like that support behind me. I don't want to like let them down, and I want to make them proud too, and just having that like freedom to do what I want and do like what my passion is, it just allowed me just to compete to like my full potential.
And maybe shifting tones a little bit, but regarding family, you haven't had the smoothest year with regards to some family developments. Can you share us a little bit about what those were, what it was like for you to kind of go through that and then come through a little bit on the other side now and be able to step into stage one, with all of that kind of weighing on you a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think by any means, everybody's had a rough 2020, so I don't think I'm alone on that. But I've definitely had just some family, I would say, like challenges. My dad in January had a tough fall. He was at our house cleaning like the gutters on our shop. It's like 20 feet high, and he ended up falling, and he landed on his head, and it was just a long story. He had to go into the hospital and had surgery and stuff, but like just by a miracle he was walking out of the hospital 4 weeks later, like just on his own 2 feet, which was it was crazy. I was actually here in Washington planning on doing a competition when that happened, and I got the news, and we didn't really know like what happened. I mean, he was in like intensive care and was in surgery, so we had no idea what happened. I got the flight home the next morning and kind of took that next like month and a half just to kind of like regroup, be there with my family, put training on the side, and it was definitely a hard time. But my dad, like as soon as he got better, he felt bad because he thought that he was taken away from like all the hard work I'm doing in CrossFit. So I wanted to be there for him, and I was. And since then, now he's here for me, and he's allowed me to kind of get back into my training, and ever since. So that's been I'm just really grateful to have a really awesome family that we're all in it together, and we want the best for each other. And but yeah, like another hiccup in the road. My grandfather's been pretty sick for the past year and a half now. He got a liver transplant 10 years ago, and he wasn't supposed to make it too much other than that, but he's made it another 10 years, which was awesome. And I think he's been a fighter, and he's definitely in a better place now. And um, he's washing down on me for stage one for sure. So uh, a lot of challenges this year, but I think it's brought my family closer together, and then you got to find like the bright side of every situation. You can't just dwell and soak in all the bad things. You just got to find that light in the tunnel and keep going.
Yeah. And you certainly did that. And you were able to, just a couple of weeks after, step onto the competition floor. What did it mean for you to then be able to hear your name called in the top 5, surrounded by your family, your coaches, the community that has supported you, and in a way kind of like give back a little bit?
Yeah, it was so awesome. And like I said, I really do think everything happens for a reason. And stage one with all the athletes was supposed to be at the ranch with no spectators, and it got moved online. But that allowed all my friends and family to like be there with me for stage one. So we had a really good crew like here for stage one, and to get like to hear my name called and be surrounded with so many of the people that I've kind of like seen my journey was just something that I'm like never gonna forget. I think that's so awesome. And now I kind of get like the best of both worlds. I qualified top 5, and I get to go to the ranch and throw down with the best of the best.
You mentioned that you didn't expect to qualify going into stage one. What were your expectations heading into those 7 events?
Man, I really had no idea. I mean, I like I said, I qualified in Filthy 150 so long ago, and I haven't competed like since. And I really wasn't sure like where my fitness stood. I know I've been working really hard like the months leading up to the games, and honestly, I was like, I think like if I don't get top 20, I'm not going to be like happy. I feel like I'm fully capable of getting top 20, and that was kind of my goal going into it. I was like, top 10 would be absolutely nuts. Like, I don't know, like I would lose it. And top 5 wasn't even in the question. I had plans after. I was like, oh yeah, I haven't been back to Boise in a while. I'm gonna hop in my truck, take a road trip, like do this and this, and wasn't even thinking about getting top 5 at all. But that didn't mean I wasn't giving it my all to try to get there. But it came to a surprise, but it was a really good surprise.
Yeah. And so kind of reflecting back on stage one, I got to say one of my highlights in watching some of the videos was your front squat and seeing the celebration, like seeing Adam go nuts behind you and everything. What were some of the highlights of those events, and which events really stand out in your mind as either that was a really crazy test or that was, I went into the pain cave there?
Yeah, I mean, definitely starting out with the front squat was definitely crazy. I mean, I would not qualify myself as one of the strongest athletes. So if I had to pick an event that I had a shot of getting top 5, let alone top 3 in, the front squat would have not been it. My max front squat's 405, and I did that 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 200 pounds then. So I was like, if I can hit 405, like this is going to be an awesome day. And yeah, we hit 405, 415, 425, then 437 to cap it off to hit like 4 PRs, like back to back to back, was like insane. And the crowd was awesome. And then the row was crazy. I mean, I was definitely it's one of the events that I'm most proud of the weekend. Definitely wasn't my best finish, but rowing was one of those things, just like the sandbag, that me and Adam, like, we gotta, I guess the weakness, we gotta work on it. And our goal is to go sub 3. And I went 259, and I could not have been more stoked about that. Definitely got into the pain cave on that one. That was a tough workout. But yeah, I think they did a really good job of the programming, and I think the final event was super cool, especially on the drag rope.
You obviously can't, build a ton of fitness between now and when you come to Aroma. So what are you and Adam focusing on as far as your training is concerned right now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think an important thing to realize that stage 1 wasn't a qualifier for the games. It was stage 1 of the game. So treat it like those were events at the game. So I don't think he's going to be testing a lot of the things that he's already tested. And I think one of the things that he has not tested is kind of that outside realm of fitness, like the odd object stuff. I mean, the very long like modality events and all that stuff. So we just been kind of trying to get outside the box, try to figure out what's going on in Dave Castro's head, and just get as prepared as we can, try to get as much exposure to as many different movements that we can, and hopefully try to get as fit as we can in a month. I don't know how much fitter you can get, but we're doing our best.
And so kind of thinking about those like outside the box type workouts, is there anything in particular that you're like really eager to kind of sink your teeth into? I know we've gotten to see you do some stuff like the Galen workout with the unbroken rope climbs and felt through 150. You've gotten to be at Wadapalooza last year and do some stuff like that. Is there anything you're like, yeah, I want to attack that, or I want a chance at that?
Dude, I nothing specific. I just want to see like all those events that we never get to see before. I love it when like you gone out to the like when they first introduced like the snail or the plow or all that stuff, and athletes had to figure it out like while they were out there. I really hope he can come up with something like that. But any of those just stuff that you get to like you don't get to do every day, like it just gets you fired up. Like the only people that are gonna be able to do that event are the people at the games that year, and I think that's such a cool thing to have. But definitely, it's gonna be really cool to swim inside of a pool. I mean, it looks like that's what he's doing. You can take guesses on whatever he's posting, but I think it's gonna be a really cool year to be at the ranch and have another facility to do some events at.
Obviously, this is your first trip to the CrossFit Games. You have been in competitions before, and traditionally the games do look like those other competitions where you have, a crowd and 10 people on the floor at the same time. This will be nothing like this, though, when you get to Aromas. How mentally, since you've never been through something like this, do you get prepared for what you might face in Aromas?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be different, but I think it's going to be different for a lot of those other guys that have been there. Like you said, I've never been there, so I really don't know what to expect. So however it is when it's get there, like that's my games experience. And I think it's going to be a lot like just like stage 1. I mean, you got to go out there in every event and do your absolute like best. And yeah, I mean, there's not going to be a big crowd to cheer you on. You just got to go out there and put your head down and grind through whatever events they throw at us. It's definitely going to be different for everyone, but it's we're all going to be doing the same thing, so it's going to be good.
Do you think that maybe from the mental side of things, that's where kind of your wrestling background plays in? I don't know if a lot like anyone who didn't wrestle, like there's not really a lot of fanfare behind that sport. And like, especially practice, like practices are just miserable at times. You maybe in your lunchroom or in the wrestling room, and there's nobody there. And it's just you and a couple of dudes fighting and sweating. It's kind of what CrossFit is too, I guess. But
Exactly.
Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I think like having that wrestling background has kind of created like the CrossFitter that I am today, and just kind of what that is kind of putting your head down and grinding. And I think that's what this weekend's gonna have a lot of, like, for sure. I mean, what you listen to all of Dave's his post, this is going to be the most mentally challenging games. He said, I don't know if Matt can handle it, and all this stuff. I mean, sure, he's just trying to hype it up, but I hope it's going to live up to what he's made it.
What is the craziest thing that you ever had to do to cut weight?
Ooh. I've had some, we've had wrestling. Yeah, you got to cut a lot of weight, but I think in one practice, it was probably like my junior year, I had to make weight like the following day, and I was like 14 pounds over.
Oh,
I wasn't like a pretty hefty dude, so I didn't have like a lot to cut. So a lot of it was water weight. I remember in that practice, like wearing like 2 pairs of sweats, 2 pairs of sweatshirt, like sweatshirt tucked in, like tied up like around your face, socks under, and I think I lost like 8 pounds that practice. Couldn't eat anything that night, like spit, like stuck on Jolly Ranchers and spit like the whole way next to like to the competition, but made weight.
Oh yeah.
One of those competitions where you can I weighed in the day before, so then I had all night to like kind of eat and drink water and drink Pedialyte and all that stuff. So definitely would not if it was like the day of a competition, but yeah, I mean, wrestling definitely had to cut some weight, but yeah, I'm happy I'm over those days. I get to eat my bowl cereal at night now. I get to have my cheat meals when I want them. It's definitely CrossFit's I'm enjoying. I get to enjoy all my food now.
Yeah. Oh man, you definitely earned it. That hearing you talk about that
wrestlers are crazy.
It brought back a couple of nights. The only 2 times I had to cut weight, the other person didn't make it, so I never even got to wrestle. So I was like, okay, that's enough for me. But a couple fun questions. One, what's your go-to product to keep that mane looking fresh?
Man, I honestly I'm like new to the long hair gang, so I go into my mom's hairstylist and I just whatever she recommends, I take it. Nothing special, but I've always had like a buzz cut, like I said. So when I got like kind of long hair, I'm like, I actually got to do something with this in the morning. Like, this is all new to me, but it's a process and it's getting there. I've had like 9 months to kind of get it ready for the games, and it'll be ready when I show up for stage 2.
Will you have, I mean, are you going to color it at all? Are you going to do anything special with the mullet to get it ready for competition, or is that going to be a surprise?
I think it's going to be a surprise. It'll be a surprise for sure.
I like that. And you mentioned earlier you were planning a little road trip in your truck. I think, the truck, the mullet's on brand, got a little Lodi, Central Cali kind of action going on. What kind of truck you rocking with?
Oh, I got a nice Ford F-150. You got to go Ford, built tough.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll be road tripping.
Rock.
10-hour road trip. Me and Adam starting on Wednesday, so it's gonna be a good time.
Then what tunes then will go along with your road trip?
Well, we don't listen to anything but country music.
All right.
Okay.
Gotta have some good country music going.
Nice.
Sure.
I love it.
Final question, Justin. You've had such a great season. You've already exceeded what I think you said were your expectations. But what now needs to happen in Aromas for you to be able to look back and say, yeah, you know what, that was successful, and that's really something I can build on for 2021?
Yeah, and exactly. It was kind of the past like 3 weeks or these in between stage 1 and 2. I just kind of definitely that's come up because I've never set like that deadline, like I got to do this or this to be successful. I don't think that's a good way to define success. Rather just I'm going to focus on what I did to get here, and that was just kind of putting my head down and going into the gym every day and doing my like personal best and be able to walk out of the gym and be like, I got something out of that session. So every day going into the games, that's my goal, to like walk out of the gym, and my confidence comes in my preparation. So if I can walk into day 1 of stage 2 and say that I'm prepared for this, I don't think I'm going to regret, no matter what that leaderboard says, first or fifth.
Right on.
All right. Well, listen, Justin, we appreciate you taking the time to do this. Congratulations on a fantastic season so far, and we are really looking forward to watching you compete at the ranch.
And you're official recurring guest now, because now that you've made multiple appearances, you're an official recurring guest. That means anytime we ask, you have to come on the show. I don't know if
we'll get you a punch card. It might be good for like a free sandwich someplace or something. We'll work on that.
I like it.